Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullsht. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So, I'm going to get on a little bit of a soapbox today, probably, because I just want to really encourage us as parents to do better. This is a phrase that we use in my house regularly. There's a little bit of a backstory to it, and it's quite funny. So I'll give you the backstory and then I'll dive into what we're going to talk about today. So my husband was in the military for 20 years, and there was this training session that he was overseeing. Not overseeing, he was just kind of watching, right? He was an observer of it. And there was this presence of a guy, right, who was running the actual session. And he looked at these recruit people and he said to them, whatever you're doing, do better. Right? And it really stuck with him, and it stuck with our family. And it's funny because now, like, when we go to soccer games with our kids, like, the parents will be like, just do better, right? It's become kind of our saying. And so this past weekend, my 3 girls all had soccer tournaments, and my kids are in travel soccer. And so there is a level of play that's different than rec, right? There's a bit more investment in the parents, and so emotions can run high. I will be the first to admit, okay, I can also yell and scream on the field. I have gotten to be a better soccer mom over the years, that I can control myself on the sideline for the most part, right? I don't yell at children. If I find myself agitated with the children that are playing, I walk away from the field and I come back. I literally put myself in timeout. I don't yell directly to the referees. I yell generalities. And that's not very often, right? It'll be like, come on, that was a foul, right? Like stuff like that. But my voice carries. And so I tend to be an easy target, right? I am not quiet on the soccer field. 90% of what I say is encouraging, though. Okay. I will give you that. My sideline parents can attest to that I've gotten better over the years, right? But we absolutely have to do better as parents, especially on the sidelines for youth sports, okay? I have seen this both in the Christian private school setting as well as in the travel soccer setting, and it's really starting to be very disheartening. So let me give you a little bit of the backstory of what happened this weekend. So on Sunday, my middle daughter, my 10-year-old, she made it to the finals with her team. And by the time I got there, it was just before halftime, and they were down 2-0. Okay. And I could see that my child was starting to get frustrated. Because she plays differently when she's feeling frustrated. And the team that we were playing, if you know anything about soccer, right, professional soccer at a higher level, it is a lot of passing to players, right? Like a give and a go. It's a lot of footwork. However, there are teams that can kick the ball really far, and that's just what they do. And our girls, my daughter's soccer team, they are being taught how to pass the ball on the ground to people, how to control the ball on the ground. And when we play other teams that play kickball, where they just get the ball and they boot it, it can be frustrating to our girls. And so my daughter was visibly frustrated. I could see it. And when she's on the field, she does a little bit of trash talking, but it's not mean, right? Like, she's not belittling these other kids. She's encouraging herself when she does it. And she'll be like, I'm faster. I'm this, right? Like, it's fine. We've talked about it. She's not directing it to that person. She's more encouraging herself, right? However, during Saturday's game, or Sunday's game rather, she blocked one of the kickball kicks from one of these defenders that was taller than her. And there had been a little bit of trash talk between the two of them, but whatever happened when my daughter blocked this kick, that this little 10-year-old girl lost her mind. And she came up behind my daughter and shoved her. I mean, we have it on video because we have one of those field cameras. And I mean, shoved her, like pushing her down the field. None of the officials saw it. Our head coach didn't see it. Their head coach didn't see it, but their assistant coach saw it. And in the world of soccer, that is a red card and an immediate ejection from the game. Nothing was called. And my daughter was visibly upset about it and went down on the field and waited for the coach to come have a conversation with her. The opposing parents were a lot. I'm just going to say that because I wasn't there the whole game. I wasn't there the whole weekend. I don't know. But that behavior by this other 10-year-old was appalling to me. I understand that she was a child. I get it. Absolutely. Right? Like, kids lose their minds. They are emotional little animals. Absolutely. But as much of that behavior was unacceptable, it was more unacceptable that the parents were okay with it. And we have seen this many times against teams that we've played. I know girls will be physical on the field. That's part of soccer. I get that. But it's these other gestures that show up when the ball is not in play that, as a parent, I find absolutely appalling. So there was another game in the spring where this little 10-year-old girl fouled one of our players, and then she bowed to our side, our parents, right? Like the opposing parents. She bowed to us, like presented herself. And it's incredible to me that that behavior is tolerated from parents. There is a time and a place for that. And it's like, joking or not, inappropriate. And this weekend was a prime example of that. Had this been my child, shoe on the other foot, my child lost her patience, shoved another player, I would have walked out onto that field, gotten a red card for walking out onto the field, and I would have pulled my kid off that field. And then I would have found that parent at the end of the game, that player and that parent, and there would have been a conversation that was had. Would it have been uncomfortable? Absolutely. Would I have been mortified? For sure. But it would have been an example that that is not okay, that is not appropriate. And I mean, we witnessed it at the high school level with my son last fall. There was just, again, in a Christian school setting, this kid lost his cool and he sucker punched one of our players in the handshake line. And you're like, what are we doing as parents that these things are being tolerated? Because I'm going to be very honest with you. Kids do what they see. Kids will do what they have been shown is acceptable. So if that behavior is acceptable at home, which it had to have been for her to be okay doing it, that's on the parents. That is not on the 10-year-old kid. That is on the parents being okay with this behavior and this rolling out. Now, okay, maybe you're thinking to yourself, you know what, Steph, parenting is a lot, and you know, sometimes we get overwhelmed. I know. I've been there. I'm a mom of 4. I absolutely get it. But I am doing better every day as a parent so that I can be an example for my kids, so that this kind of behavior isn't perpetuated in my own family. Now, was that something that I did as a kid? I don't know. Maybe. Right? But I have enough wherewithal to train my kids up differently so that that behavior is not perpetuated in our family. And when examples of that behavior come up, right? I had a conversation with my 10-year-old about this. I said, hey, honey, what was going on with the field, like on the field beforehand? And she was like, oh, well, this girl told me that I was really annoying and that I needed to get away from her. And I told her that I get to stand and play wherever I want, right? And that kind of exchange has happened with other players before. I've heard it, right? And I said, honey, the actions that that girl took were not okay. She should not have shoved you. That was inappropriate. I said, however, we do have to have a little bit of compassion here because she is being shown that that is okay. Whether it's through her parents, whether it's through her teammates, whether it's through her school, someone has allowed that behavior to be acceptable. And we have to have a little bit of compassion for that because she's a 10-year-old child, right? And so I walked my child through this and I said, hey, like, if you have the wherewithal to be like, you know what, I'm starting to get frustrated. Let me breathe. Let me bring myself back in, right? We work through these exercises at home. When she gets into a fit with her sisters, right? When there's an argument with the siblings, we walk through these kind of life instances at home so that they can choose differently as opposed to letting their emotions get the best of them. And it is constantly a work in progress. I still work on it. And I'm the one teaching these kids, right? Like, I still work on this regularly. I work on it when I get agitated with my husband. I work on it when I get frustrated or when I'm overgiving or whatever it is, right? Like, I am constantly working to be and do better. And it just is so, it's really just heartbreaking that I can't even say that people don't have the tools because there's so much available to it, but there's just no desire to be better. And I don't want that to feel like a shameful thing or like a whatever thing, but like, I know that part of my work in this world is to be an example for other parents about what's possible. You can have emotionally intelligent children at 10 years old, at 8 years old, at 4 years old, right? Where they're not losing their emotions on other people and they're not being physically aggressive towards other young children or, you know, the showboating thing or whatever it is, right? Like, there needs to be more compassion in general, and not like I'm gonna dim my light so that you feel better about yourself kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the compassion where it is like in this moment, right? Like, I had compassion for that little girl. Was I pissed? Absolutely, I was pissed. But I had compassion for this little girl because that behavior is okay in her house. And the parents were okay with that behavior because there was no repercussion whatsoever on the field, after the game, whatever, right? Like, again, if that were my kid, she would have been taken off that field by me, sat down, and then there would have been a conversation with the parent, with the child, with whatever at the end of the game, where my kid knew that that was inappropriate behavior during a game. And it's not. It just, there's no recourse. There's no remorse there. And maybe there will be because, you know, we've sent the video to our coach, to the club people, right? Like, whatever. I don't know what will actually happen. But it is just, it's alarming to me to see it so frequently because these are children. They are our future. And it is heartbreaking that this kind of disregard for another child, this physical, I mean, you know, take it, I don't even want to go there because I'll probably start to tear up, but like, what are we doing as parents? We need to really check in with ourselves. Have a conversation with yourself. Heal that part of you so that it is not perpetuated through your children. And again, I am a work in progress. I will fully admit this. I have screwed up. I have made mistakes, right? I am learning just as much as all the other parents are learning how to parent, right? Like, we don't get a manual for parenting. But I am actively working to be a better parent. And it just breaks my heart to see this when it comes to sports, because sports is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And yeah, I want my kids to compete at the level that's appropriate for them. And so, yeah, I do come up against this craziness from time to time. And it just breaks my heart that it's being perpetuated. There's another perspective. There's always another way. There's always something that we don't know that we can learn and do better at. And I think that's it. I'm off my soapbox now. I really just want to start these conversations because I see it all the time, right? Like, I remember playing sports and it was so fun. And yeah, you were super competitive on the field, but at the end of the game, you absolutely high-fived everybody. You were like, holy crap, great job, right? Like, I am the kind of person that was like, oh, like, that was a great goal. Like, I encouraged other players. I remember I was, when I was running the marathon, I ran a marathon, what was it, 18 months after I shattered my kneecap, 16 months, whatever it was, right? I ran my first marathon back in 2019. And I remember, like, mile 16, 17, I hit my stride. I was feeling really great, had a great playlist going, and I was encouraging to all of these other runners along the way. They were beating me, absolutely. And when I passed them, I was like, hey, great job, keep it up, right? Like, they are not my competition. Even on the soccer field with my kid, those girls, are they their competition? Theoretically, probably in the game, but after the game, they're not. They are 10-year-old girls also playing soccer. So, can we be more encouraging? And yeah, I know, when the emotions are high on the sideline, it can be hard to do that. And when I feel myself starting to get revved up, I know my kid is feeding off of that. And so I'll step away. I literally will stand up, get out of my seat, step away, clear my energy, and then I'm just encouraging when I can feel the tense coming, because I know that my kid is going to feel that from me as well. And so I shift it, change the perspective. Hey, my kid's out here having fun. How can I encourage her to not lose it on the field, right? So I'm going to sign off here. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. And if you'd love to continue this conversation with me, you'd love to have another conversation, I would love for you to reach out, tag me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube, whatever it is. I'd love to connect, because we need a strong community of parents that are not going to perpetuate the crap. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have a great day. Bye.